Alright guys, if you're watching, please like, please subscribe, please ring the bell. I appreciate your company. I want you to know when I'm coming to visit you in your handheld enslavement device called a smartphone. So guys, I am actually headed home. I was on my way to go to work, and now I'm going home because I got a call from the tractor dealer that my backhoe is on the way to my house, and it'll be there. I've got to meet the gentleman at 3:30 to sign some paperwork at my house, and then he'll unload my tractor. So it is 2:52 now, Alabama Central Standard Time. So I'm on the way to get the backhoe. This is awesome. All right, so I'm going to talk for a few minutes while I'm driving down this beautiful scenic highway, this wondrous corridor of wilderness with objects that move in excess of 99 million miles an hour. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to drive safely. No, all right, anyway, now that the semantics are out of the way, before I turned off the YouTube and everything, and I listened to a few people talking at restaurants and out in the public and everything, and they're talking about basically what the experts call the entitlement, welfare, or program, or food stamps, and all the other things of that nature that are being rooted up essentially and changed and altered and all kinds of things, and how it's affecting people. And when I saw the videos, the majority of the people that are on TikTok, and America has turned into a spectator sport. Look at me. I have entered the spectator arena. So when I see these videos on things like the TikTok, and the YouTube, and the Facebook and stuff like that, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that trend where people were crying, just setting up cameras and like to throw a tantrum, a grown baby fit on camera, and they got lots of views. That's why they were doing it. There was financial incentive. Those views equal money. And nobody wants to have a normal job anymore. And I mean, can you blame them? This is America. We're all supposed to be Jeff Bezos. We're all supposed to be the Musk of Elon. We're all supposed to be trillionaires. Our birthright is to be heirs of billions. Each and every one of us. We all go get 40 billion and a mule, or we're not going home quietly. No mule, no billions, no justice, no peace. All right, so learn to be your own best friend. You'll never be lonely. Surprise. All right, so learn how to be your own entertainment too. You'll never be bored. So this is really a light-hearted video. Such a dramatic title, but I want you guys to get the. I want to set a disclaimer out there first. I want you guys to know right up front my stance, my position, where I stand on these pressing matters. Billionaires are not a joke. Racial divisions are not a joke. But I want you guys to understand where I stand on these on matters of this nature. I think we should all, if we haven't taken, we should all take the costume of identity off, and we should bludgeon and stab to death the ego. And that's my stance. It doesn't really matter what your body looks like. Your body is not you, and you are not it. And we are all connected intimately on an energetic level of the spirit, of the spiritual variety. And so, we are all each other, and each other is each other. We are somehow both nothing, and at the same exact time, we are everything and everyone beneath the superficial level. The body is a container that houses you so you can experience the miracle that was made for us all. And we got people in the year 2025 who've never heard that, who don't know a lick about it, don't know nothing about it. But I'm going to tell you that it's true. You're not the body, you're not the mind ain't you, the body ain't you, what the mind shows you ain't how it is. You are more than you think. You are timeless. We are timeless. You are the formless, waiting to take form. We are the formless, waiting to take form. And I want you to understand that. Don't sell yourself short for believing that you're the body. You are not the body. What you are, in the simple way, is what experiences, what feels, what experiences the feeling, what experiences what the senses have to bring from the external world and from the internal world. Because senses work within us the same as they do externally, or we couldn't sense or experience what happens inside. And so I come to you right now and tell you this after I said that, so you understand completely where I stand on these kinds of matters. And I hope that you'll climb this mountain with me and we can stand at the top together as we should be. And so when I see the TikTok videos, back to what I was talking about before the life and times of Oliver Travels. So back to it, this is the deal. I see TikTok videos and it's mainly black folks, you know, mainly the black folks doing it. Now I've seen white people doing it, but it's mainly them, and they're talking about how the food stamps affect them. It's mainly the food stamps. Some of them are talking about the Section 8 deal, but it's mainly the food stamp deal. And, you know, nobody should ever be hungry. That's my stance, period. If we can excuse billionaires, and I don't mean to make a division, because everything I just said also applies to them. We are all lost to some degree, but I have to talk like this because it's insane. We're already insane. Look at us. We're a body. We are a spirit. We are a mind sharing the same container, and every bit of us wants something different. We're going in different directions until we can all get it on the same page. We're already crazy, guys. Surprise. We live in a mental asylum called planet Earth. And we are the patients of different degrees. So, with that out of the way, as it stands right now, I don't know. Let's look at the word billionaire. That means heir to billions. So it's like an heir doesn't technically have a kingdom, like an heir to a kingdom, a prince or princess or whatever. They don't technically have the kingdom. They're just an heir. So billionaire, heir to billions. So does the billionaire actually have billions of dollars? Well, I've heard mixed things on this. I mean, somebody who's got that much money, especially when times are going to start getting very rough on everybody, they of course would have an incentive to lie about not having anything and trying to make themselves appear as you. Chameleons and reptiles do this same trick, right? They change their skin color to blend in with their environment as a safety maneuver. Now, I'm not calling these people snakes or lizards or anything. I'm just talking. What you take from this is what you take from it, because however you interpret what I'm saying is up to you. All right? That's your perception. I'm just telling you what I've observed. You know? So, you know, people are talking about the food stamps. Food stamps got cut off, blah, 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 blah. Some people, you know, some black people have made TikToks actually saying this is a good thing for the black community. And it's never a bad thing when you push somebody to try and learn some self-sufficiency. All right? Never a bad thing. If someone becomes bitter because they had to strain just a little bit, I'm sorry, but on this planet through life, you're going to strain. And you're going to flex in ways you didn't think you could. The trick is not to not break. The trick is not to become bitter. It is like pain is inevitable, but suffering is where you get the choice. And when I see the people talking about the food stamps and how awful it's going to be, that's what I'm talking about here right now, okay? So if it don't apply, please let it fly. So you got the people, and you know, racial issue is like this. Just like every other issue of an identitarian or identity variety, it all comes down to ego. If you want to solve these problems, you solve the ego of everyone involved. That's what you do. You can't walk, because when you put identities on, they're not real, and you're doing a lot of unnecessary stuff that's just it's not required. That's like saying I have an imaginary friend, and if you insult my imaginary friend, I have to fight for my imaginary friend's honor. Well, that's insanity. I know I just said we're all crazy, but that is a different form of insanity, all right? That's like the level of the homeless guy at the park he's walking around, he's looking around, but when you get near him and you say, hey man, how are you? Can I offer you some water or something? They don't respond. They go, and then you have to walk away. That's what that is. So, you know, and situations and circumstances craft people. It goes into what makes us us and how we understand the world and the concepts that we use to build the world around us and the world we live in. And so the spiritual obstacle, the objective should be to shatter those blocks and walk in freedom and liberation. We must shatter the shackles of ignorance while we cast out the shadows of the unknown, as we set fire to the darkness that is the forest of illusion, so that we, just like the truth, can stand liberated and free. And so, what we're going to have to do here is Americans have an ego, and I know I'm speaking from experience here, all right? We seem to have an ego, and we're 100% blind to it, because usually the ego and things are left up to the spiritual work in the society. The spiritual workers, the preachers, the priests, some people, the light worker, whatever you want to call it, okay? You get it. The spiritual worker is the one that is supposed to enlighten folks and guide them to enlightenment of the ego and the nature of reality and the nature of who they are and all those things. That is their role. Now, in America, for some reason, the churches, which are the predominant religious form or spiritual workers, if they're doing good or bad is up to interpretation. But I'm just saying, they don't really talk about the ego. It's like they don't even know it exists. They have no clue about it. How can you confront the biggest demon in the room? How can you cast out the biggest shade? How can you spread awareness of the biggest problem we face in 2025 on this earth if you don't even know it exists? You can't. To solve a problem, the first step, I don't know all the steps because it's subjective in a problem and how you solve it. It's not always objective and it's not always the same way you solve it. But I know this, that the first step is always awareness and being aware. Shine the light. Shine the light of your attention, your focus, your consciousness, you onto the problem. All right. Now, I say everybody who's hungry needs to be able to eat. I don't want to hear how great something is, like a country, when some of its people are hungry and some of its people have 4 houses, 4 mansions, 70 cars. I don't want to hear all that nonsense, because that, you might have material wealth in some people's hands. You might have greater wealth in it, but if you're spiritually poor, good God Almighty, enjoy it in this life, because the next one you get, you're going to be eating dirt every day, because you're going to get thrown in some poverty-stricken place that's full of disease, and it kills all your friends and all your family and everybody you love and your pet and all the things, and you don't got no food, and you're the only one that lives, because the universe, the flow that goes through the universe, God is going to teach you a lesson. Not because he wants to torture you, but because you need to grow. That's immature mess. I'm tired of hearing about how great billionaires are personally, how great millionaires personally. They have enough money to end hunger. They had enough money to kill food stamps for, I'll give them a good one, for 100 years at least. And what do? They spend that amount of money that they could probably fix hunger and fix it permanently for centuries, if not a millennium, and they spend that same amount of money on PR campaigns to convince you, oh, they're just like you, they're your best friend, please don't vote to take their stuff away. And I'm not advocating to steal from anybody. I'm telling you what I'm observing. All right? I don't care personally. I don't vote. The only time I would ever consider voting, and that's if I really believe they meant it, and if they didn't and it didn't work out, well, I'm a fool, but you know, whatever. That's part of life, is being stupid sometimes. We're all born ignorant, don't you know? So, the only time I vote is somebody's up there doing, I won't sign a single bill. I'll stall the whole political system until we've fed everyone who hungers permanently, until we've housed everyone that shivers and is wet permanently, until we've clothed them permanently. That's not negotiable. And so I'm just one vote in a sea of millions. Who cares if I vote? They'll just say, well, we can't please that guy with what we got to offer. You can't. You know, on this planet, you know, God's about the only thing, only thing that ever pleased me 100%. No complaint at all. And so, what I'm telling you is that what I'm telling you here is very simple, and I got to wind this video up because I'm running out of steam, guys. I'm running out of steam. Is that, you know, this isn't supposed to be a political channel, but I'm going to talk about what I want to, and I'm going to try to put a spiritual lens over it the best that I can. I won't, you know, I'm not even neutral between the two choices presented to us in this political format. To be neutral in those two choices, that's obscenity. I'd rather be uninvolved. And so we got a racial divide being spread here. All right. And we got billionaires who spend enough money to feed the whole planet for hundreds of years at least, spending that same amount of money on a PR budget to prevent from not having to do that. Are you kidding me? Okay, this is what that says to me. That says this: when I see that behavior and that happening, I see them saying, I would rather play mind games with people than share with other people. That's really all that says. And great, it's yours. Do whatever you want with it, but can you quit lying about I'm great, this and that? Look, I'm going to tell y'all a secret. This is universal wisdom. You want to be great? You want to be great in the eyes of others? You want them to sing your praises? I'm going to tell you what you do. Sorry if I'm yelling. It's a little late in the video to say that because I'm going down the road and I don't know how loud the wind noise is. But if you want to be great in the eyes of others and you want them to sing your praises, then you're going to have to be what they need. Not what you tell them they need, not what you think they need, but what they need. You save them and they'll find you to be great. If you want to be the hero, however, you're going to have to recognize this simple truth about being a hero. When the hero has beaten the villain, when the hero has saved the world, people typically don't need the hero no more. At that moment in time, you just got to embrace that. That's the hero's path. 1 minute they love you, the next they forget about you. And then something else happens and you got to come save the day again. That's just how it is. Being a hero is selfless. It's not about... Being heroic is about being selfless as much as it is about sacrifice and as much as it is about fixing a problem. If you're unwilling to be selfless and you're unwilling to sacrifice and you're out here spending PR budgets that rival enough to feed people for hundreds of damn years on this planet, you are the opposite of a hero. You're a villain. You're not only a villain, but you're a liar, you're deceptive, and it's disgruntling to watch someone do that. Like, good grief. Like, I'm sorry, but capitalism is like a religion, right? It's a philosophy, it's an ideology, and it says basically that, in let's say Christianity, modern Christianity, Paulinity. Let's say this. I'll make an example. In Paulinity, calamity, right? In Paulinity, not that Paul taught this, but his church, the modern Christian church, so to speak, they believe you get to heaven by being good. Now, they can tell you that that's not how you get there, and Acts does not equal heaven. But they live by it, though, so it's a different thing. In their heart, it's real. They really believe that. If you listen to them talk, you can tell. Oh, be good or you're going to get it. Well, if you're going to get it, that's the opposite of heaven in their opinion, how you get there. They're wrong. I know they're wrong. And so is the plight of every human being that ever lived. That human being over there is wrong and I'm right. That's the ego. Now, sometimes, it's wrong. And you can say it's wrong. It's not the ego. It's just they're wrong. Someone's telling you 2 + 2 = fish. And you say, no, it's 4. There's probably just a hint of ego in there because you had to drive to point out somebody was wrong and that you were right, even though you were right and wrong. So it's a lot deeper than just mind crap, right? So use that in Paulinity. You have the calamity known as Paulinity. You have... Now, Paul gave some good advice. I'm making jokes, not at his expense, but at the people that I walk around saying I'm a Christian because Christian just means Paulinity. Now, how they warp things, that's none of my business, and that is a video all its own. But the calamity known as Paulinity, in the modern day of it, these modern times of it, you've got people that believe you have to behave and then you go to heaven. If I'm just good and I follow all the laws and I pay my taxes, and I might mess up here and there, but I'm going to heaven overall because I did all the good things. And, and it's just like, okay, cool. That's what you believe in. Who am I to stop you? Good. Now, I'm gonna bring that over here. So in capitalism, just like all other ideologies have some kind of dogma and duality, in capitalism, these people believe because people are buying their product, they have helped humanity, no matter what that product is. It's kind of the same way with the engineers. They kind of let ideology in a way, and they do have an ideology to them. Everybody's got philosophies and ideologies to them. They let it get in the way of common sense. All right, if everyone's buying rat poison and feeding it to your neighbor, I mean, it's like everyone bought my product, everyone bought things from me. I was rewarded because I helped humanity. They think I'm the hero. They think I'm great. And because that's why I got rewarded. And no. If you really believe that, it goes back to what I just said, in a way. If they really believe that, they wouldn't spend all that money on PR campaigns to tell you what to think about them, mainly. Because people would think they were great, right? But they know that's not true. And instead of asking, well, how can I actually make this work out? Well, the newsflash, you can't make everybody think you great, even if you handing out free ice cream in front of Walmart, even if you paying everybody's rent every month, even if you pay everybody's mortgage every month, even if you pay everybody's car note every month. Ain't everybody always gonna think that you're the cat's meow, man. Not everyone's gonna think that you're the roar of the lion, or the growl of the tiger, or the pure ferocity of the bear, or the howl of the coyote. Let's throw them some bones. I love the dogs, guys. And so, y'all don't look at these signs that tell you where I live. I'm trying to hide in these woods. Y'all don't look at these signs. God, I'm gonna die driving down the road. We're gonna find out the Christian idea is right today. Alright, so guys, I'm so sorry. Do not look at this man's tag, okay? I can't help it. There we go. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to give your privacy away. But it's y'all's fault for not driving like a race car across this intersection. Let's go, baby. Alright, so don't go, baby. You'll cause a wreck. Anyways. Oh, man. They're going to slow down. There's a 90-year-old man picking flowers in that ditch over there. I know something about the old people in this ditch. They play in it. Alright, here we go. We're going to cross now. Alright, I'm almost home. I'm going to end this video. I want you guys to understand something, you know. The only divide is mental. It's all inside of our minds. And it's not that the mind wants you to naturally hate each other and fight each other, but we are naturally in a survival state, and we need to get out of it. And then we can get along. Now, whether there's people with a vested interest in stopping that or not, I'd say there probably is. That's irrelevant. You know, we got to get out of that survival mindset. And, you know, but, you know, food stamps, if we looked at the numbers, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I imagine there's many people making those videos about how awful their life will now be, and the fact that they happen to be black people or spirits wearing black bodies through life. I'm inclined to believe that, you know, it affects them a great deal. And, you know, as an observer, as someone watching, I see that, you know, and on the other aisle, there's these loudmouth white people yelling racial crap. Stop that. You're not helping the situation on this planet. All right, I hate to tell you this, but those folks, they're the same as us. We all the same. I done said that at the beginning. And it's not our body that makes us the same. It's not our tendencies or our minds that make us the same. It's the simple fact that we are all the Spirit, and the Spirit is all connected together. We are all connected together. That's God. And there ain't no reason for God to be at war with God. And so the people on the other side go over to them. They're yelling things, and when I watch them, I'm hearing their problem is not what they're saying, but that's what they're saying, so I have to commentate on that. Their problem is times are now getting hard, and it's going to affect everyone a great deal. There's radical change is going to happen, and on this earth, and it's affecting them, and they don't know what they thought. Well, we need to bring these prices down so I can resume my hedonistic lifestyle. And everybody's being hedonistic in 2025. Don't confuse yourself. That's what consumption and materialism gets you. And so they're talking about they want food stamps cut off and things like that. And it doesn't help whenever they say that they go somewhere and there are people that happen to be black there, and they're inconsiderate, they're grumpy, all these things that they claim goes on and they experience. I don't have to list off a list of bad behavior. Hell, every person doing some bad behavior. And I wish we didn't have to make it ain't we. First of all, it ain't me. All right. Me, I ain't nothing special in a body. All right. Got a gift of fixing cars. So what I'm saying is that when I say that, I kind of say, well, they over there are saying that, and they're yelling about the food stamp because it's an outlet. And they remember that time that they tried to walk down a sidewalk, and they couldn't walk down a sidewalk because the person walking towards them happened to be a black person. It wasn't like a normal person. It was an identitarian person that was black, who identified as black, and they'd stop in the middle of the sidewalk and they'd make sure they were blocking the sidewalk, so you had to get off the sidewalk or they inconvenienced you in some way. And that's pretty much, so what do? They go, well, we can't afford this and that anymore, so we need to cut things off because they ain't grateful anyways. That's how they're thinking. And I want to tell you this right now. It ain't got a thing to do with the food stamps, what's going on right now economically, because that's what's affecting people. It has to do with greed. It's always been greed. All right? Greed gets pretty damn sneaky, too, with how it operates in people. It's billionaires who say, look how much money I have. Don't that make me great in capitalism? Doesn't that make me great in America to have all this stuff? And then they say in the same breath, but I ain't got no money to pay taxes. I need tax breaks and tax cuts. And you should give it to me because I'm great. And they go and they hijack politicians, and that's how that goes. They don't have to pay taxes, essentially. Working folks, everybody working, paying hundreds of dollars every paycheck to taxes, and none of it affects us directly. And I just want the world to wake up and realize, for one, you're not the body, and you're not the shade it is, you're the spirit. For one, I want you to take the identity off, and I want you to take the ego off, and I want you to get along, and I want you to stop spreading these cultures to each other that put the ego up on high, that sanctify identity. I want you to take it off. All right? No one's ever going to get ahead if people cannot get past the ego. That includes everybody when I say it. And and I hate to say it like this, I hate to tell the government this, that if the government thinks that they're about to shake down the people who ain't got it to be able to pay its financial obligations as things get turned off because we can't afford them anymore as a country, and they come to the little people and shake us down, they ain't going to get nothing out of us. You're going to have to go over to your billionaire buddy and shake them down this time. I mean, all these billionaires have enough money they could fix all of Earth's problems if they wanted to tomorrow. All of Earth's problems would be solved. But they'd rather tell you about how they're solving Earth's problems in a fictional way than actually do anything. I mean, it's not hard to see why certain people believe in conspiracies and hop on conspiracy wagons when there's not a clear answer to why do people still suffer bodily when this is not the ancient times, where this is the times where people have enough that the problems can be solved. We have the technology, we have everything we need to solve it, but they're not solved. You know, take the ideologues out of the mind and take the identities off the bodies. Step into the spirit and be who you are. And guys, I gotta go because I gotta use the bathroom for they bring my tractor. Listen to me. I hope everything goes your way. I hope you find all the blessings of this world, and right behind them, I hope you get hit by all the curses of this world. And I hope everything does go your way. Have a good day. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. I'll see you later from nowhere.